With the rabbit, everything was uncertainty. How could I quantify his fuzzy little life? Did he dream beneath that snowbank blanket? Probabilities make things messy. If I, godlike, finger-painted his name in red, would fewer sets of unblinking eyes greet me at the entrance to the tent the following morning? There was no easy answer. And if we all quietly died anyway, how the hell would I answer to that rabbit? When William, Michael, Fred, and I got back from the Arctic, me all wrapped in blankets, they wrapped in flags, I had to see a head shrinker. She made my brain tiny, insignificant, like the rabbit, so that I could no longer really think, or feel, or understand. I told her all about my dreams, about bumping into that rabbit in hell's swankiest cafe, and how we'd sip magma from teacups made of splinters, and chat about how glad we were just to be warm. Without that shrink, I never would have realized how easy it could be, how little I could feel. So I joined the organization, officially at 23. The Chance Merchants, they called themselves, all assassins by trade, sworn enemies of the Church of the Monumental. And I laughed. I laughed as they tattooed pupils, red like the rabbit, right on my eyelids. As if somehow they'd known about him. As if they'd known about that rabbit, about my first real choice out there in the snow. They then gifted me a silenced pistol, whom I promptly named Bernice. Mother said I looked scary, but she's always been a little scared of me.
Oh my God.
Ever since I was born, actually, ever since that first day when the regional priest of the Monumental plucked me from my crib, spanked me thrice, and from the red markings on my infantile ass divined that I would die out there, alone, in the Arctic. Of course I found out. And of course I just had to go. I had to see. And, of course, he was only mostly right. What that fortune teller failed to foresee was the eventual extent of my depravity. Made stronger by one rabbit, one William, some of Michael, most of Fred.
Oh, God.
It left the Arctic feeling bigger.
Oh,
As if I'd somehow managed to absorb my comrades' essential bits. As if there were somehow more of me. I do still sometimes dream about that rabbit, as I bounce between all the oddest of hells, 3, 5, 7, 9. He likes to rant at me. I saw it, he'll say. I saw the red dot dancing on my forehead, and I just didn't get it. I heard the bright thunder. I heard it, but I have this tiny little rabbit mind, so I couldn't possibly understand. Heck, I even felt you chewing, you know? But you don't know. If you had known, if you had only known how dead you would all be anyway, then I guess you wouldn't have shot me. How the hell could I answer to that? But now that I joined the Merchants, this was my chance to finally unmake that first and last mistake. And so, on my primary assignment, I crept into the Second West Church of the Monumental, found a seat in the upper balcony, and waited. Patient. The sermon itself almost murdered me. Watching this hairless face flit about this congregation, deliver a nonsense prophecy not meant for mortal ears. You attempt not to cross the street on a Tuesday. You. Congratulations. It's a girl. You. Beware of goats. Avoid all goats at all costs. And with all these wonderful predictions, how come the priest of the Monumental couldn't prophesize his own demise? Were they somehow blind to their own eyes? Better yet, maybe they were all suicidal, waiting in silence for a passionate kiss from sweet Bernice. When the sermon ended, I made my way down to the temple floor after his attendants had locked all the doors. And I found the priest of the Monumental kneeling before a dying candle, reading his Bible diligently. I pressed my baby to the back of his shaved head, and he just marked his page. He looked up at me, lovingly, which made me a bit nauseous. "I recognize you," he said. "Bullshit!" I I replied. No, I do. It's in those rabbit eyes. You, my son, should have already died. Aha. Here I am, very much alive, and I brought with me a few friends who were just dying to meet you face to face and would really like to thank you. Thank you for your divine gift of seeing straight through time. And with that, I took Bernice and shoved her as far down my throat as she'd go, opening me up, letting them all back out. Fred's right arm, Michael's spleen, William's heart, and one still twitching rabbit nose all surged from my mouth in a puddle of bubbling acid covering that priest. And as he looked up at me, all scalding and smoking and screaming, he opened his eyes, now themselves red like the rabbit. And I lost it. I totally lost it. I completely blew it. Ruined the whole moment. I know it was rude of me. I just laughed right in his face and then blew his brains out all over the back wall. Things got real quiet for a while. I was feeling a bit nauseous, and maybe a tad faint. So I reached down and just plucked off his right ear, just to nibble a little on the lobe. I thought for one crazy second, like maybe I could absorb some of his power too. But in hindsight, I can only laugh because obviously there was no power to begin with. I mean, at the end of the day, he and my rabbit were very much the same. Just red finger paint on a white plain, and somewhere I remain, frozen in an Arctic wasteland, all laughing and stinking and having abso-fucking-lutely no idea how this is all going to end.